Patience. Learn objectives. Assalamu alaikum everyone. How are you? Today we will learn about the characteristic of patience. Let's get started. We talked, my friends, about some of the good morals that Islam encourages, like honesty, kindness, and mercy and trustworthiness. Now we will talk about another moral that Islam encourages, patience. Patience means enduring hardships and difficulties without anger, fear, or complaint, except to Allah Almighty. Complaining in this context is done through dua and prayer to Allah Almighty, asking Him to grant well-being in both this world and the hereafter. Islam has encouraged patience because of the great reward it has in the life of a Muslim in this world and in the hereafter. Among these rewards are the love of Allah Almighty. Allah Almighty said in the Holy Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Allah loves those who persevere. Another reward of being patient is getting hasanat and rewards from Allah Almighty. Allah Almighty said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, only those who endure patiently will be given the reward without limit. Another reward of being patient is getting support from Allah Almighty. Allah Almighty said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Allah is truly with those who are patient. Now, my friends, do you know if any of the prophets and messengers were patient? Let's see. Whoever has read the stories of the prophets and messengers from the Quran can see that patience was characterized by all the prophets and messengers. Allah described them with it. He praised this quality in them in His holy book. Allah Almighty said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So endure patiently, as did the messengers, of firm resolve. And now, my friends, who can tell me about the different ways of being patient in this world? Let's talk about them. Among the ways of being patient in this world are being patient in obedience to Allah, being patient when doing hard or tiring work, being patient during hard times and challenges. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, How wonderful is the case of a believer. There is good for him in everything, and this applies only to a believer. In prosperity attends him, he expresses gratitude to Allah, and that is good for him. And if adversity befalls him, he endures it patiently, and that is better for him. In this hadith, the Prophet, peace be upon him, is telling us that everything that happens to a Muslim is khair, which means good. If something good happens to them, they are thankful to Allah, and that earns them hasanat and good deeds. If something bad happens to them, they are patient, and that earns them hasanat too. And now, my friends, for those who have studied the life of the noble Prophet, can you tell me about the two situations in which Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was patient? Let's see. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was patient in the death of his children during his lifetime. This was a great challenge for him. It's not easy losing the people you love, but the Prophet was patient and put his trust in Allah. He was also patient when his people harmed him. They rejected and disbelieved in what he brought to them from Allah Almighty, and this made them angry at the Prophet, peace be upon him. The Prophet was patient, and he endured the harm of his people, hoping that someday they will believe in Allah and His message. He never made dua against them or wished them harm or punishment. The Holy Quran also included many stories in which the prophets, peace be upon them, were patient. Among these prophets are Prophet Yaqub, who was patient with the loss of his son Yusuf, peace be upon them both. Likewise, Prophet Ayyub, peace be upon him, was patient with losing his children and his money, and he suffered a sickness in his body. Allah Almighty said in the Holy Book, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Remember when Ayyub cried out to his Lord, I have been touched with adversity, and you are the most merciful of the merciful. So we answered his prayer and removed his adversity, and gave him back his family twice as many, as a mercy from us, and a lesson for the devoted worshippers. So, my friends, today we learned that patience is a great moral embraced by the prophets and messengers, and they were praised for it in the Holy Quran. Patience has a great reward in both this world and the hereafter. Through it, a person is granted the love of Allah, immense rewards and hasanat, and the support and success of Allah. We also learn that patience comes in many forms and can be done in many ways. Some of them include being patient in our obedience to Allah, being patient when doing hard or tiring work, and being patient during hard or challenging times. Finally, we learned from the Holy Quran that the prophets of Allah Almighty, including Muhammad, Yaqub, and Ayyub, peace be upon them, were patient with the challenges that Allah gave them in this world. With their patience, they received the greatest reward, and Allah Almighty praised them for it in His holy book. With this, we have finished our lesson on the virtue of patience. See you soon, my friends.